Amen. Lord be with you, Hope College. Thank you, thank you. One quick announcement before we begin. We've had a series called Love, Sex, and Dating. Super, super fantastic and wonderful. Tomorrow, we've been having it on Fridays, but tomorrow, because of Dance Marathon, which is Friday, you all know that, we are going to meet for the last time in Moss Auditorium, 4:30, so please come on out as we wrap up this series. I love that first song, right? Did you need to hear that this morning? That his mercy is more. Whatever yesterday was, whatever today was, whatever it is that is upon you and in you, his mercy is more. And hear that good news this morning. I got another piece of good news this morning. It's Senior Witness. Psalm 107 says, "Let the redeemed of the Lord tell their story." And here we have a redeemed of the Lord, Miss Cindy Nguyen. No one loves you, Cindy. No one. Cindy is from Kentwood, Michigan. She has devoted herself to the study of biology and psychology. She is involved in many things on campus. She may be heading to grad school, maybe not.
We'll see.
Tell your story.
All right. Well, hello, Hope College. Before I begin, I would just like to say thank you for this opportunity today. Never once did I think that I would be standing in front of you all. And if I'm being honest, I'm a little terrified, but nonetheless, extremely thankful. Being a senior with only a few short weeks before graduation, I've reflected deeply about my time at Hope, how I've changed from freshman year, and my relationship with God. Who was I 4 years ago? Who am I now? Looking back at my time here at Hope, a single verse comes to mind. In Jeremiah 29, verse 11, it is written that, "For I know the plans I have for you, declared the Lord, plans to prosper you and not to harm you, plans to give you hope and a future." I came into Hope with my own plan and a flawed idea of what my relationship with God had to look like. My relationship with God now looks completely different than it did a couple years ago. And that is a story I would love to share today. To start, my decision to come to Hope was not easy. I grew up going to church consistently. My parents, my dad in particular, is extremely rooted in his faith. I grew up learning that God was the only reason he made it to America after escaping Vietnam on a very sinkable boat. So, I went to church. However, my understanding of Christianity was solely based on the idea that I had to learn the books of the Bible, be able to recite John 3:16, and act like everyone else at my home church. To put it frankly, I did not have a relationship with God. I was deeply insecure about this, and I felt that I wasn't good enough to go to a Christian school because I lacked faith. I prayed for weeks and weeks about my college decision, and for some reason, I felt called to Hope, so I went. This notion of Christianity stuck with me into my freshman year of college. I thought that if I invested myself into a set career path, did more extracurriculars, went to chapel, and fully immersed myself as a Hope College student, I would be a better Christian. My freshman year, I made a plan to do as much as possible on this campus and contribute to the Hope busy. My relationship with God and my identity was tied into what I did rather than who I was. I took this idea and I ran with it. According to my freshman year self, filling my schedule with thing after thing was how college was going to go, and God had to fit into that plan. However, what happens when one singular event makes you question the plan that you made for yourself? As when speaking in this chapel, I'm drawn to the pews right in front of me. A random day, my sophomore year, I decided to sit in these pews. I sat next to someone I did not know from the Holland community, and her and I had a very nice conversation. By the end of chapel, after a short time together as I was saying goodbye, she turned to me and questioned my faith and asked me whether or not I was a Christian. I walked out of chapel completely dumbstruck. This person didn't even know me, so how could they say that? I tried to brush off their comments, but from the short walk from chapel to the Science Center, I was in tears walking to class. The people in my class probably thought I was crying because we were in human physiology. But I had just had something big happen to me. I was sad and very angry. I tried to forget that this happened, but the harder I tried to forget, the more I thought and the more I asked, why? Why did this happen, and what was the purpose? By the end of the day, I remember asking myself, was I really a Christian? Hope College, God gets your attention in so many different ways. And although my occurrence was definitely not a normal one, talking to that woman certainly got my attention. I asked a lot of questions to a lot of people about what it meant to be a Christian, and one theme that always came up was trust. That same trust that my dad had was the same trust that I wanted to have in God. Yet, trusting in God is extremely scary when you have no idea how to build a firm relationship with Him. I can say that this process of changing your life's course so that God is at the center of your life is a process that I did not do alone. This journey started off after I was encouraged to join an immersion trip, where I experienced God's love for me through service and my group. I participated in Exodus 90, where I learned to strengthen my prayer life and truly struggle. Major shout out if you're doing Exodus 90, because I feel your struggle, but I am so excited to see how you grow through this process. This change looked like having my phone background changed to Jeremiah 29, verse 11, so that I had a daily reminder to be thankful that I have a God who loves so much that He curated a plan just for me. As I reflect back on my 4 years at Hope, that plan that I had for my life looks different. The career path that I thought I wanted has changed, and it is with so much clarity now that I can see God's love for me during my time at Hope. God's love led me to meet some incredible people who have helped me further my faith journey and deepen my trust in Him. This trust began in small steps. It looks like saying yes to leading a pole team where I was thrown into a leadership role that I did not think I could do, and relying on an incredible group of people to accomplish one of the strangest traditions a person could be a part of. Or saying yes to joining the Women of the Dorian sorority, where, as a freshman, I wasn't sure if I would even belong. Furthering my faith journey also looked like exploring who I am. By learning about my ethnicity as a Vietnamese American woman, I am shown God's love more and more because I am wonderfully made through Him. As a senior witness, I am so glad that I got to share my insecurities and my journey with all of you. Trusting in God 4 years ago brought me to Hope College, and I think that if I wouldn't have gone to Hope, I would be extremely different. If I could, I would say thank you to that woman who I talked to that one random day. It was definitely a way of getting my attention to work on my relationship with God. He can get your attention through big occurrences or even day-to-day conversations. So, how is God trying to get your attention? Is it through your friends, your professors, or the person sitting right next to you? When I graduate in May, I don't know what my next plan is. And that's okay, because I know that when I leave, I placed my trust in God and His plan for me. As said in Jeremiah 29, verse 11, "For I know the plans I have for you, declared the Lord, plans to prosper you and not to harm you, plans to give you hope and a future." Thank you. Go in peace.